Congratulations! It's your company's 20th anniversary. And as one of the few employees who have been here from the start, you've been invited to give a speech to the whole company at the anniversary event. You've got all of these ideas swimming around in your head, but as you sit down to type them up on your computer, you end up just staring at the screen. You just don't know where to start. The start is the hardest part. It needs to make an immediate impact, and everything has to flow from there. And because it's so important, we tend to procrastinate the most on this part. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 powerful ways you can use to start a speech. Hi everyone, I'm Jamie and I work as a coach and trainer, and my channel is all about leadership tips for influencing, communicating and boosting productivity. And if you find this video helpful, then a like and subscribe would help me a lot. Thank you. And let us know in the comments below which of these 3 ways you like best. The first method is to disrupt your audience. For example, our founder was 70 years old when he founded this business. When you present something that goes against people's expectations, their brains need to recalibrate. A 70-year-old starting a business? Shouldn't they be retiring? And aren't most businesses started by young people? For the record, studies have shown that people over 60 are 3 times more likely to build a successful startup than people in their 30s. But getting back to how to start a speech. The moment people need to recalibrate their brains is the moment you have their attention. They realize there is something important they didn't know, something that can give them a new way of viewing the world, something that will teach them new lessons about the way the world works. And there's some brain science to this as well. Our brains work by predicting the world around us. We predict that when we drink coffee, we will feel awake. When we drive to the office will be there. And when it gets to the end of the month, our company will pay our monthly salary into our bank account. We use these predictions to make plans, and so long as everything follows our predictions, we can relax and just get on with following our plans. But the moment our predictions are proven wrong is the moment our brain needs to update its database. Imagine going to drink a cup of coffee and discovering it's actually a cup of vinegar. Ugh. Or driving to your office and discovering it's been turned into a church overnight. Or checking your bank account on payday and discovering they've actually deposited your whole annual salary in one payment. These prediction errors tell the brain that its current database of knowledge is out of date, and you need to update it. Otherwise, you can't plan your life. And when you start your speech by disrupting your audience's current database of knowledge, they realize they need to update that database, and your speech can help them do that. In that moment, you've grabbed their attention, and they want to hear what else you've got to say. So when you're planning your speech, think, what assumptions do my audience have about this topic? And what can I say that might prove their assumptions wrong? When you can prove their assumptions wrong, you can disrupt them and grab their attention. The second method is the opposite of the first. It's to relate to your audience. When we disrupt our audience, we take an existing assumption they have and prove it wrong. But when we relate to our audience, we confirm their assumptions. Essentially, we say things they agree with. But there's a few tricks to making this work well. Firstly, we want to focus on assumptions that really matter to them. Focus on beliefs and values that are important to them. You want them nodding their heads vigorously. Secondly, after you've started with something they can agree with, follow up by leading them to a pain they feel that is relevant. So let's come back to our example. It's your company's 20th anniversary, and as one of the few employees who've been there from the start, you've been invited to give a speech to the whole company at the anniversary event. So what beliefs and values are important to everyone at the company? For example, your company is a pharmaceutical company. The people involved in this team are going to have a lot of values and beliefs about the power of medicine that they're researching. So start with those. For example, everyone sitting in this room today is a hero. Everyone sitting in this room today is working to save the lives of people all around the world. There, you've got them. You're going to have heads nodding and a few tears welling up as well. Now, lead it to a pain that they will all feel. And in the past, it used to be just science that we needed to solve these problems. But as we enter a new age, we face new challenges. Supply chain disruptions, cybersecurity, and new government regulations. Now you've finally got their attention. You've highlighted a pain that matters to them. And guess what they want now? Yeah, they want a solution. So make your speech the solution to their pain. For example, I'm not afraid of these new challenges though. Over these last 20 years, we've faced far bigger challenges and adapted. And today, I'm going to share with you a story about how this company has overcome such a challenge. Agreement, pain point, and solution. Start your speech with these 3 points and you'll be relating to your audience. Their heads will be nodding vigorously and they'll desperately want to hear what else you have to say. The third and final method is to tug the heartstrings. The best way to do this is to start with a story. For example, this is Sarah. She's 6 years old. She loves animals, especially dogs. And 1 year ago, she almost died. Stories are really powerful ways to start a speech because they can immediately create an emotional response in the audience. And the key to getting this emotional response is to make your story about someone they can empathize with. Sarah is 6 years old. And everyone sitting in that audience was 6 years old once, so can immediately relate to being that age, enjoying life, and looking forward to a long future. But there will also be many parents in the audience, some with children just like Sarah, who care about their children's lives more than anything else in the world. So the person in the story must have characteristics that the audience can relate to. And when they can relate to them, the pain that person faces will trigger an emotional response in the audience. The story takes them on an emotional roller coaster, as it starts with positive things, such as Sarah being 6 years old and loving dogs, and then shocks us by revealing that she almost died. Such emotional shocks burn into people's memories very easily. They work in the same way flashbulb memories do. Like, for example, most people who are around on September the 11th, 2001, remember to this day where they were, what they were doing, and even what clothes they were wearing. People remember that event so clearly because it had a huge emotional impact on them. So stories are not only a great way of starting a speech, they're also a powerful way of helping people remember your speech. And the best way to use them to start a speech is to tell a story about someone the audience can relate to, who faced a pain that the audience care about and found a solution, with that solution being the focus of the rest of your presentation. So there we have it, 3 ways of starting a speech. Disrupt your audience by saying something that breaks their assumptions. Or relate to your audience by starting with something they agree with, then leading to a pain point and framing the rest of your speech as the solution to their pain point. Or tug their heartstrings by telling a story about someone the audience can relate to, who faces a pain the audience care about, and then framing the rest of your speech as the solution to their pain. Which is your favorite way, and what other ways do you know of for starting a speech? Let us know in the comments below. And if you like this video, a like and subscribe would be really helpful for me. And you might be interested in checking out my online course on communication skills for the global workplace. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comments below, and have a great day.